our today's session, that is SWA class Unit 4. Unit 4, that is Software Architecture, Unit 4. The Unit 4 is the Creating an Architecture 2. If you want to develop an architecture, so what is the things we have to be consider? Okay, what we have to think about that, in what ways we have to think this. This is nothing but the creating an architecture. In what ways means what? So what is the relevant concepts for architecture? Okay, so the relevant concepts for any architecture creation are two parts mainly. Okay, the one is the documentation software architectures. Next one is the reconstructing software architectures. So I can't conclude that these two only we have to consider for software architecture creation. No, these are not the limit, but as a part of the syllabus we are going to learn these two in this unit. The remaining thing we are going to learn in the further unit also. Right, ma? So in this what we are going to learn, the first one is the documenting software architecture, next one is the reconstructing software architecture. Okay, so let us start our first part, that is documenting software architecture. In this we have 5 concepts we are going to learn. Use of architectural documentation, the views, choosing the relevant views, documenting a view, and documentation across views. So basically what is a view? View is the representation of your concept. In what way you are going to seeing that concept. See, this is not seen by every user or by every stakeholder. So this may differ from one to another. This may differ from one to another. As we have a lot of stakeholders like users, accountant, managers, implementers, testers, developers, maintenance people. So a lot of staff are working for creating an architecture or application. But who is going to be taking care of means we can't conclude that. But everybody is going to contributing their service. Okay. But the main leader I can say is the architect, who will develop the design, who will maintain all the concepts in his single hand. Okay. So that is called as an architect. Now we will see. So first of all, the author want to convey about what is importance of the documentation. See, you have written some examination for us, okay, in the college, but your presentation is not good. You presented not good. So what will the marks you will get? Obviously out of 50 or 100 you will get above half, maybe not up to final marks. Why? Because your presentation is not good. So like this also the documentation plays a vital role. See, if you are going to as a final years you are going to give a project, right, in future. So we have a the faculty used to highest priority to the documentation and the coding. The documentation is whatever you have been implemented, that should be present in a perfect manner, so that any user, maybe the newcomer or the old one or any new one is going to be learn about that your project, they should conclude, they should came to know that yeah, this is your project. They should understand that. So it is your work to present your work or to present your project or application or any software in a perfect documentation methodology. In the documentation also we have lot of protocols or standards we used to follow based upon the cycle or models. For your software implementation we used to follow the documentation. For example, we are going to use a waterfall model. So for that we have what we have: analysis, requirements, design, testing and maintenance. So these are the phase of water cycle model. Spiral model we have. Okay, like that we have lot of models now. So depend upon that we use the documentation. See, architecture is a conceptual glue that holds every phase of the project together for all of its many stakeholders. In a single line, it is giving the priority for the documentation. So what it contains? Every phase of the project contains. It contains every phase of the project without any doubt. So for what? For whom it is? For many stakeholders, that holds every information in that. Okay. So documenting architecture is a crowning step to crafting it. Who will own the crown? Anybody who is going to leading the total concept is going to use a crown. Okay, so crown means the king or queen who have the highest priority will use to wear the crown. So like this also, the whatever implementation you have done is one face, but finally the representation of presenting your face is very important thing. Okay, so next, even a perfect architecture is useless if no one understands it. See, if you did a good project but if you're not able to present to the user in a good manner, see, I'm going to use a PPT here. If my PPT is not good, without any animations or without any colorful concept or dividing the concept, can you able to understand? No, not at all. Do you want to listen that? No, you may not able to pay attention for that. Right. So for that, the documentation also very should be good. So what the author want to say is, it should not be ambiguity. Means we should not feel any cumbersome to any user. The user have to feel free to read that and to understand that. The language you are going to present, the diagrammatic representation, the conclusion, the phases ordering. So all the play vital role in your project documentation. So that should be without ambiguity and organized in such a way that others can quickly find needed information. So if your information is not in order, no one able to search, right? So that for what is too important to capture the data and to finally use that data in their work. Right, ma? So that is the use of the documentation. Finally, it will also discuss notation that are available including UML. See, UML. What is UML? Unified Modeling Language. For what? To represent the flow of data from small module to biggest module. The biggest module contains an n number of smaller modules, right? So those modules have to communicate each other to share their data, to represent their data, to execute their data, right? So for that also we have to use EML to show your flow of data in a good manner, right, ma? So the architecture for a system depends on the requirements, right? Any architecture, if you want to develop a new application without any requirement, nobody will do the work. See, it is you want BTech degree, that's why you joined in our institution. So you need knowledge. That way the faculty is going to be conveying their lecture. So like this also, the documentation also requires some requirements. Okay, so any documentation will depends upon the requirements only, and documentation for the architecture depends on the requirements only, right? Without requirements, is there any documentation uses? No, not at all. So documentation is decidedly not a case of one size fits for all. Yes, it may differ from one to another. For example, if we are going to presenting a PPT or a project reviews, what we will do? We used to present in three reviews. One is introduction of your project, next one is the design part, and finally the execution. So in all the three reviews, one is going to differ from another. The heading you are going to use, the methodology you are going to present, the example you are going to take, the coloring you are going to take. So everything is going to be differ. So the documentation is not fit for one or all. It may differ from one to another. So it should be sufficiently abstract to be quickly understood by a new employees. What I said previously, any newcomer, any new user, any new implementer, any new tester also should understand the documentation. See, one architect is developing that architecture. Unfortunately, he is not able to continue because of some personal reasons. He left from the company. The new will come, whatever the previous architect given some documentation for your presentation. Okay, he should be perfect manner, so that the second new one can able to understood the previous documentation and he can continue with the current one. Right. So that is the importance of the documentation, ma. We should not expect to produce one architectural document and have every consumer read it in the same way. See for example, some have technical knowledge, some don't have technical knowledge. So everybody not able to understand the documentation. But for every stakeholder, that should be understandable in a perfect manner. Right? So this might mean producing different documents for different stakeholders. See, it is somewhat practically little bit cumbersome or tough to implement, because producing a documentation is very tough, because in that we have to mention the requirement, the analysis, the phases you have taken, the communication between them, the data you have taken, the process you have taken, and finally what is the outcome, comparison with the other outcomes. So in each documentation of any application contains all this. So developing different documents for different stakeholders means so somewhat little bit tough only, but as per the author suggestion, what you want to convey is we have to develop different documentation. See, for the manager, no need to go in depth because he know what it is at all. Okay, but for the user, the end user, we have to go in depth about the project. We have to explain each and see, if you are going to buy a new product from any online or the offline mode, we used to get some manual, right? What is the use of the manual? To refer anything new so that we can go further, right? So that is called as a manual. So it should not be the same for any stakeholder for every product, means may not be. So for that, the author suggesting that try to develop different documents for different stakeholders. Maybe it is a good suggestion, right? So more likely it means producing a single documentation suite with a roadmap that help different stakeholders navigate through it. Okay, right. So architecture documentation is both perspective and descriptive. Yes, it should be useful and it should be readable. It should be satisfied in both ways. So one of the fundamental rules for technical documentation is to write from the point of view of the reader only. Yes. See, we can able to understood the total logic behind our project because you are the developer or architect. But any end user want to learn about that. We should define each and every word. For example, I have used the Java. I implemented using Java, but nobody knows about the Java. So what we have to do? We have to make them to learn what is the Java, what is the features of the Java, why we prefer Java in our project. That should also mention by us only. That is the author want to convey. Okay. So understanding who the stakeholders are and how they will want to use the documentation will help us organize it and make it accessible to the usable for them. Yeah, it's a common thing and every application developer will do the same. So see, whenever you're going to develop an application, he can able to understood what is the end user requirement, in what way they can receive, in what way they want. So by taking all these considerations into his mind, every architecture will develop the application. There is no doubt in that. The company will take care of all the issues. In addition, each stakeholders come in two varieties, seasoned or new. See, for example, I am going to use the Oppo phone. Okay, so previously around 5 years back there is no Oppo phone. Around 4 years or 3 years back we have a new versions of the Oppo. Right, new versions of the Oppo. So in that version the manual is going to be not same like present here because more features are added. Okay, some phones may be new, some phones may be seasoned. Okay, so for that, for example, season means Amazon. On every occasions or celebrations, the Amazon will change their layout or presentation to the customer for buying any new products from their website. Right, ma? So they are not going to be the same. So like this, a new customer will be there, a seasoned customer will be there. But both have to understood that. Right. So architecture documentation is a key means for educating people who need an overview. The new developers, funding sponsors, visitors, project or so forth. Any type of stakeholders, they should understand the project, right? So one of the most frequent consumers of the documentation is architect. Yes. So this is the person who always have to visit the documentation, right? So here we have a lot of different type of categories of stakeholders. We will see one by one what their contribution in our concept, right? So I am going to give a table for you. See who is a stakeholder and what is the use of them. Right. This is the here architect and requirements. The architect who is going to be developed. Okay. They used to provide the requirements because based upon the requirements of any stakeholder only, the architect can start developing his architecture. Right. So without considering the requirements, what is the use of your architecture? It's no use, na? So that is. So architect and designers of constitution pass. Designer who will design the modules. Their communication is nothing but the, we also have to consider them. Implementers who will develop. Testers and integrators. And maintainers. So we know all these terms, right? Designers of other systems with which this one must interoperate. See, for example, Oppo phone again is there, but you developing an Oppo phone is not at all an important issue, but marketing is very, very important. Okay, without marketing, no one able to understand what is your product, what are your features, how they get benefit from the new product, right? So like this, the designers of the marketing and the design of a Oppo phone have to interact each other. So for that, what is the documentation? We have to develop that. Okay, next one, quality attribute specialist. Somebody will be there who will test the quality attributes in terms of efficiency, performance, scalability, security. We learn about this in the second unit, right? So furthermore also, what is your requirement, how your project is going to be impose the quality to the customer, how they will satisfy. We have to consider all this. Next one is the managers. The manager will manage all the issues regarding your project. Okay, how they will document, what is the level of the documentation they need. The management means if any flaws came, how they are going to be rectified. What is the flow of the flaw, what is that, recognition, how they can be rectified is going to taking care of the managers. Product line managers, whenever the product has been released into the market, okay, in terms of phases from country to state, states to district, district to towns, from towns to villages. So how they are going to provide the advertisement, how they are going to take the feedback of a customer regarding a product. So all the documentation have to be maintained at any cost. And quality assurance team, yeah, we will give quality throughout your usage of a product. That is a quality assurance team. So what is the documentation, right? So this is nothing but a list of stakeholders which gives or which needs about the documentation of your architect. Okay, so like that, that's why only author conveying that as we have a lot number of stakeholders and their purpose is not same from one to another, we have to maintain the different documentation from top to bottom level. Okay, right now. So who are the stakeholders? I will repeat the names again. Quality architect and designers, implementers, testers and integrators, maintainers, designers of other system which are going to cooperate with this our product, quality attribute specialists, managers, product line managers, and finally quality assurance team. So these are the people who will involve in architecture in the project, so that they have to provide, everybody have to provide the new documentation, right ma? So that is the first topic. So second topic, views. So how you are going to be view your documentation or your architect, we know about this. So what is architecture, what it contains? Every architecture contains the elements, their relationships and their functionalities. Because a project is not a single module. As a software engineer, it is nothing but the collection of the modules and their interaction, communication, okay, everything, data, input, output, processing, everything will be there. So in what way we have to view your documentation? See, as we know that software architecture for a system is nothing but the structure of the system. Architectural structure, right? The structure may not be same for every project. It is going to be different based upon the users, based upon the requirements, based upon the architecture, based upon the application, based upon the environment, based upon your what is investment, based upon final the user needed requirement. So all this will force us to change the architect along with the documentation also. Finally, what is architecture, which we explained in the previous classes, which contains nothing but it is a structure or structure of the system which comprise elements and extremely visible properties, their every elements and properties and the relationships among them. So these are nothing but the architecture. So for everything, nothing but the elements, properties or the relationships which contains the concepts which lead the architecture, they should provide the documentation also, right? So a view is a representation of a coherent set of architecture elements, which I said previously, as written by and read by system stakeholders. Yes. So the architecture set of elements itself as exist in software or hardware. So the concept of a view, which you can think of a capturing a structure, provides us with the basic principle. Yes, view means the presentation, whatever you want, their connectivity, their relationship, their functionality. The basic principle of documenting software architecture is Documenting an architecture is a matter of documenting the relevant views. So what is their views? What are the elements? How are you going to use? How they will give the output? What are the modules are going to use? What are the connectivity they are going to use? Okay. So in that, these views also will reflect our documentation. See, this principle is useful because it breaks the problem of architecture documentation into more tractable parts. Right, ma? The tractable parts are, what are the parts? Because we can't do every work in a single concept functionality. We have to use different concepts, right? So first, what is the choosing the relevant views? Choosing the relevant views. What are the relevant views we have? How to document this view? How to document the information whatever we are applying in one view? Okay. So how the data will flow from one view to another, if there is any. So these are all we are going to deal in this views, ma. Okay. Now this topic we'll discuss in the next class. Choosing the relevant view. So that is a view. What is a view? Which contains elements, relations, properties, which may not be the same for every stakeholders. We will learn about how to choose a view in the next class. Right, ma? So I'm going to stop this class for here.